What's up, Rockstars? I got a ton of new games to show you guys. There's a lot of new things on Kickstarter, on GameFound right now that you can back, plus some updates on some of those heavy hitters that are also going on right now. Thank you to my channel sponsor, Into the AM. As a company that believes hard work and a great product is a proper way to conduct business, I am delighted to have them as part of the channel. They have some of the coolest graphic t-shirts around and an absolute best fit and feel that has continually exceeded my expectations. With new shirts arriving all the time and other products like boxers, hats, and even a monthly shirt club, I wholeheartedly recommend them to you. Check out the link in my description of this video for an exclusive 10% off everything they sell. A quick shout out to my patrons and YouTube members. They make this channel possible every single month. If you would like to join them, if you appreciate the videos I provide for you guys all the time, there's a link down in the description below, along with a link to everything else I'm about to cover. So if you see everything here, it's down here, plus like 100 extra links. Like there's a ton there. Feel free to check out everything that's available that I'm looking at and tracking and all that kind of stuff. Again, in the description below. Hopefully that is convenient for you to use. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at Unmatched Adventures, Tales to Amaze. This has 11 days to go, 339,000 raised, 6,000 plus backers. I did not know about this Adventures. So Unmatched is a very, very big game and a lot of people love it. However, this Adventures is more of a traditional board game kind of style thing, which I think is very cool when it comes to going on adventures. And this one has Nikola Tesla in it and all this fun alien stuff going on here and these cool minis, and you're running around doing essentially like these old cheesy kind of movie style stuff that just look really, really cool. You see kind of the art samples here kind of feel that way, right? Mothman, Martian Invader, stuff like that. You get even the kind of art that fits a lot of that. This looks really neat. It's got some cool minis in it. They have foil cards. There's a lot of stuff here. You can use any of your Unmatched stuff here and like vice versa. It's all compatible. Just looks like a lot of fun to me. And I love the theme. I love the style. I think that's super cool. It's got cards, dials, minis, tokens, pretty much everything you need. So, oh yeah, and the Kickstarter version gets little alien people and moth people. So that's also fun, of course, as well. There's those foil cards. 83 bucks, or sorry, $60, I apologize, which is, I think, super great. It's not the biggest game when it comes to components. That helps reduce the cost as well, and ideally means you can get it to the table quick and have some fun with it. I've supported it. I think that's a lot of fun. So super cool to see that. Crown of Ash is here as well. Almost 400 backers, 25,000, almost 26,000 raised. Definitely kind of a smaller thing here, which is kind of surprising because it looks really pretty. I think it looks very pretty. Like I just love the look of it. I think that's great. Everything else, you know, it's kind of hard to gauge, at least off of this. There's a lot of information here though. And it looks like something that I think a lot of you guys would enjoy. Probably not for me in my game group, but I would totally play somebody else's copy. Hopefully that makes sense. There's a lot here. Like it's not necessarily a small thing. This game board, crazy looking. So, yeah, a lot of standees, a lot of tokens, a lot of stuff there. Feel free to check it out and show these indie companies some love. Next up, we have the Last Kingdom board game. This one's super interesting. This is by Gamelin Games, which do the Tiny Epic series and are used to making campaigns in the 700,000s, 500,000s, 300,000s, like minimum. Like there are hundreds of thousands of dollars in that Tiny Epic series. And then they come out with an IP game, an IP-based game. We know how much we guys love that. The Last Kingdom board game, and it's very IP in that it uses all like in video, like real life pictures and stuff like that. There are a lot of like art when it comes to the design of everything. And yet, less than 1,000 backers, 41,000 raised. Now, granted, I don't think The Last Kingdom is the most popular series to ever exist, but it is a fairly recent current one. And so I think there's some oddities. First of all, I don't think this is a pretty slick campaign. Additionally, the first blurb you have is played it once, which I just think is funny. It's by the guy behind the Great Wall, which is super cool. But it's just funny that played once, it was cool. It's like the most casual thing to say about it. It's just, it kind of cracks me up a little bit. I don't know, it's very odd. I don't know anything about the gameplay per se, but like showing the cards like this, it just doesn't look good. It's got this background going. I just like it looks weird. if I do say so myself. Obviously, the minis aren't the best or anything like that. Game Only Games isn't busy making like super premium, physical product, right? They're focused more on the gameplay, but yeah, just kind of odd to see it look like this. I think this looks kind of ugly. And I'm wondering if that's part of it. They have, videos from like Quack and stuff like that, and MVM and Rado and all these other, Game Boy Geek, even got Tantrum House. I'm sure everything's positive in that video. But anyway, it just hasn't really taken off. They're about 11,000 over their goal. So interesting to see. Let me know what you think about Game Only Games doing this and kind of the turnout for this. It's very unusual to see an IP-based game not just explode lately. That tends to be the thing. The Thinning Veil relaunched. They are at 61,000, almost 62,000. They made like 131,000-ish. On their last one, 136, something like that. So they definitely have a long way to go, but they only just launched a little while ago as well, so they still have plenty of time to grow. Be interesting to see what they do. I don't think they have any add-ons or anything like that to spur additional backing, so if they don't fund right away, it's going to be slow going. It's just like Lunar Oak Studios and stuff like that, where if you get the all-in and everything up there up front, then it's slow going afterwards because nobody's really upping their pledge too much. So you just get new people. There's some improvements on this for sure. There's also some oddities still that just are kind of odd. So first of all, it's got lore, which is cool, except I actually dislike seeing lore in the beginning of a Kickstarter game. I want to see the game, and if I care enough, I'll go read the lore. So it's kind of an interesting tidbit there, I guess, but I actually prefer this kind of stuff at the very end. Let's see, so you got 144 for the hero pledge, which does come with a free expansion, which really just adds 2 women as playable characters, because otherwise it's all dudes. Let's see, they got like 40 gem dice, 100 acrylic cubes, and 61 miniatures, 3 books, 352 cards, 50 game tiles, 200 plus tokens. So you got a lot of stuff going on there. It's definitely a lot. Now they're only showing the miniatures here, and I think that's a big mistake. I think your splash page should make it look like you just got a ton of crap, because you do, but all you're seeing are the minis, which minis are important for sure for backers. It's just, I mean, that's just what the numbers say. But underneath here, I don't think it would hurt to show a whole bunch of other components as well. I don't think that would hurt at all. And then you have the gameplay all-in pledge, the miss for 190, so under 200. So the all-in gameplay is less than the core box experience of Elder Scrolls. So we'll see that here soon. But again, only showing miniatures, which these hero expansions really are only adding miniatures. But still, like, this looks like less than this, just because you're not seeing everything in this now. Now it just looks like a box. I would like that image to explode more and more, if that makes sense. I think it'd be kind of fun. Now, this is kind of interesting. This is the all-in pledge for 244. Now, the all-in pledge adds this of Swarm and Spider, though it doesn't say expansion, like this says expansion. But also, I would think that stuff like bats and spiders and rats would be part of the gameplay. So I don't know how these are not gameplay. And I guess they just represent stuff, because this was the gameplay all-in and it did not have that. I'm not sure. Like this, terrain upgrades, those make sense. The dice bundles, stuff like that, all that's super cool. It's just interesting to see the Swarm and Spider. It confuses me a little bit without reading further. They did change the why is this unique. I think the ones at the top are actually the least interesting. I actually think these ones on the bottom are a little bit more interesting. And additionally, they have the unique scaling system for drop in, drop out twice. So that's kind of, they're pretty much, this and this are pretty much saying the exact same thing. Hey, when a player drops out, the difficulty changes. So that's also kind of weird to see. But like multiple beginnings, multiple endings, that actually I don't think is a huge thing. Whereas something like their token system seems cool, or even the variable AI or the enemies leveling up. These are, I think, much more interesting and more unique standout things. And I'd like to see those higher than just saying, hey, you can one-shot the campaign things. So anyway, and then they got some videos. They're doing daily unlocks, so you're unlocking a whole bunch of stuff there. And they offer like a lot of dice and whatnot too. So anyway, that is the Thinning Veil. Again, link down below. Let's go and move on to the Elder Scrolls. They're at 2 million raised now and getting close to 7,000 backers. Now, I did a video commenting on the expense of it and why it probably is the way it is. And you guys had some great conversations around that. I actually made that video for you guys. This is a community-run channel, as you know, and I received many comments, emails, Facebook messages, tons of people talking about how expensive the Elder Scrolls were. And so then I go and start looking into it and trying to decide, okay, how what are people looking at here? And I realized how few people converted from following this, because I just covered that too, to actually backing it. And it wasn't a big turnout at all compared to how many people there were. Sometimes you have very little, sometimes you are on par, sometimes you have a lot more. But they had 21,000 backers for the Too Many Bones. And so the fact that the Elder Scrolls isn't even quite at 7 yet is kind of disappointing. Now, it's great they made 2 million. They've already made more than the Skyrim. Low bar, I think, there, because that was a botched one as well when it comes to what people wanted out of it. And I'm sure this is going to be premium, and I'm excited to get a copy for sure. So I think they're doing a lot there. Also, the stretch goals are definitely helping out. They're adding a lot of different stuff. They've done some big ones. This Eye of the Queen here, this has a huge amount of content in the game. I'm not going to go over everything right now, but it adds these quest lines essentially to the regions. They've also added like the super cool magnetic counter, which I think is awesome. I think this looks super sweet. And again, it's one of those things, this is probably really cheap to manufacture in China, but much appreciated for us over here. Let's see, upgraded dice and cards and added classes and all that kind of stuff. Alternate things there, Duxified Fatigue dice. They're pimping it out, of course. It's going to be a beautiful product. I have no doubt about it. A few updates quickly from the video. People mentioned shipping and the add-ons, super legit thing. That's definitely a thing. And to get the weighted tokens, which you can buy weighted tokens for cheap, that still stands, but it's not just a plastic density. They actually add a metal insert there. So exactly like the electronic stuff, like a mouse and stuff like that, where they put some metal in there to make it heavier. Feels nicer, right? So smart upgrade there, I think. I would like to see them doing that for all of their chips. It's in their name instead of just this. But either way, kind of a bummer that it's priced so high that I know a lot of you didn't back it because of that. You guys told me as much. It reminds me a lot of Elden Ring in that sense. So Elden Ring also had a weird scope thing going on, whereas this doesn't. I think this is definitely the more solid, okay, if you like the IP, this might be something you're interested in. The problem is, I think a lot of the people that signed up for this, it would have been their first one. They're video game fans. They're not really into board games. And so when they suddenly see that, oh my gosh, this board game is $200. Monopoly is only $30 at Target. Why am I $200 for a board game? And it blows their mind. They just leave. They're like, what the heck? You and me, us, we 200. We're just getting started, right? Tell me about the $400 all in. But 200 for a person that's just casually interested in the IP from the video game side of things, that's a non-starter for most. So kind of a bummer there. I wish they would have been able to get it lower while still providing all that quality. And I'm not sure if just a smaller scope would have worked, if maybe just the IP premium they're putting on there would have helped. I'm not sure, but kind of a bummer, but also still good. It's great, but the potential was even higher. BattleTech Mercenaries, 4.6 million, 17,000 backers. Dear Lord, this thing it's crazy. It is what it is. It's just insane. There's a ton of stuff here, and like I said, really, what people are unlocking are just ability to get more. You guys said that at retail, it's about $30 for about 5 minis or something like that. So that seems pretty on par with what I'm seeing here. 35, 40, 30, right? So again, not even really like a huge amount of savings per se. You're just kind of locked in. You're going to be getting it. They're going to be shipping it out. And again, they have so many add-ons and so many things. It's just a ton of stuff. Now, they did have some big stuff here. So like at the 1 million, they unlocked quite a bit here, as you can see. At the 2 million, again, they unlocked quite a bit. So they've been unlocking a good amount of stuff that's actually neat. And a lot of it is actually like free stuff now, which is good. Good. Not all of it. A lot of it's still just, hey, here's more stuff to buy. But people are loving it, and I'm all for it. D.E.I. 106,000. I covered this before and it had very little and I was concerned about it. However, it seems that hey, we launched. Email was several hours late from what I hear from one of my patrons. Thank you for the information on that. And it did actually go up to 1 million or 100,000, which I'm happy to see because I want Lose My Studio to send the copies of their previous games they haven't delivered to there. And if this had botched, I was worried this is going to be like an Annister thing. Maybe it still is. Maybe they were expecting more. We'll find out, of course. It's definitely not the highest funded thing, but it did definitely fund. And so that's good. And the reprint side of things, that's super cheap to do. You don't have to pay for artists or sculpts or anything like that. So that's nice. Townsfolk Tussle, 809,000. I don't know if they're going to hit 1 million. I suspect they might hit 1 million. That's 200,000 more, but they still have a week to go, guys. A week. And I haven't even done my review on it yet. And obviously when I do that, they're going to like explode in funding. It's a fun game, guys. You know that. This is just more fun stuff, doing it different things and adding different spins onto it and stuff like that. So if you like Townsfolk Tussle, you'll like this expansion. And as a boss gauntlet style game, more bosses means more varied gauntlets, which means more permutations of like your playthrough through things, which again, super cool. Very smart expansions. Definitely support that. Dungeon Saga Origins. You guys asked me to cover this. This is launching, well, so it's 1 a.m. right now. So now you know when I'm filming, but it's launching today. However, this video, I believe, is coming to you on Friday. So it will have already been there. Link down in the description below. Go ahead and check it out. See how cool it is. There's 4,000, almost 4,500 people signed up for this. This is by Mantic Games, which do, from what I can tell, quite quality stuff. And it's just a straight up dungeon crawl fantasy style. Like what they're trying to do, based off even their video, is okay. Let's take a dungeon crawl that you know and love. Dungeon crawl fantasy. Everybody loves that. I mean, this is like bread and butter. And let's make it the best bread and the best butter we can. That's kind of the idea here. That's kind of what they're going for here. What makes it like super unique? I actually don't know, but it is a 1 versus many, at least how they described it there. So someone plays the dungeon and the bad guys, the rest of the people play the good guys, and you just have fun playing a board game, old school style, from what I can tell, like Descent 2nd Edition style. Terrorscape, the immersive horror board game for 2 to 4 players, that is coming soon. It looks actually really cool. It would be especially cool. It looks, I don't know if it has this terrain. I'm not sure. It's a 1 versus many hidden movement. I think it does to block line of sight. That'd be my guess, in which case that's super cool to see. I think that's awesome. So definitely will be watching out for that. And finally, this will be launching in 40 days. So you got kind of some time here. However, this is Evil Genius Games, who do the Everyday Hero thing, which is essentially 5e Dungeons and Dragons, like mods on top of it to add a whole bunch of awesome IP worlds into it. This time they're doing more Pacific Rim and more Kong Skull, and they've already done that before, but these are like deep dives into them. It's going to be on Kickstarter, and it's going to be pretty big, I imagine, too. They do all sorts of different IPs in it. They call them the cinematic adventure paths, are what they do. But you grab that, and you're set to go playing with friends around the table in a world and IP that you love. I think that's awesome. So again, everything linked down in the description below. If you have any new information you want to share, if you want to talk about anything, show me anything, let me know about anything, correct me on anything, or agree, there is, of course, those comments. Guys, thank you so much. And again, if you appreciate these videos, there's that Patreon, there is that YouTube membership, either one, whatever's convenient for you. I'm just glad to have you guys here. And I look forward to doing this for a long time to come. I love it. I really do. So I'm going to let you guys go. Have a great one. Take care. Bye, guys.